Hello everyone, and welcome to Frostpunk, a game with very dark themes, where we'll be setting up a city in the frozen north to avoid the incoming ice age, well, the already begun ice age, where everything's frozen and it's snowing and it's an average Canadian summer. So let's get straight into it. I finished all the scenarios. There's 3 different ones available. You got a new home storyline, which is the main story and the longest one, and that. Well, that's just the whole process of setting up your city and finding ways to adapt to the changes and keep control so everything doesn't break down. As I said, there's very, very dark themes to this game in places. Then there's the Arks, where you play as people trying to keep like multiple greenhouses warm and automate your city completely so that the life continues on after humanity dies or something. So you just got to keep the greenhouses warm in that one and power everything with robots. It's pretty cool. Probably my favourite. And then the refugees is the most difficult one, where you overthrow the lords and steal their generator, which is how you keep warm in the north. And you have to deal with massive waves of incoming people, really, really tight supplies, It's really difficult. Today we'll be playing the Arks. If you'd like to see the other two, please do let me know. But the Arks is my favourite, and it's one of the shorter ones, so I figured it'll help you guys get a taste for it. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to customize it, we'll go on the default difficulty. I have finished it before, so I kind of know what to expect, which may throw off expectations a little bit. I think I finished this scenario maybe 5 tries, and most of the time it's because I sort of restarted after the first few days. Yeah, that's the main way I would advise people to learn to play this game is, like, especially on the main story. I think when I first got this game, I played the first 10 days, maybe 8 times, and then finished it in one go. So, because once you really get set up, it's quite hard to fail. You'd have to really neglect things. But it's still quite a difficult game if you don't know what to expect, so. The seedling Arks. We've been chosen to safeguard a priceless treasure, the seeds and seedlings of plants from all over the world. They've been deposited in seedling arks to stop them from freezing, but it falls to us to build a city to protect these precious buildings until the winter ends, however long that may be. The only way to do this is with automatons. We'll ensure the green earth is reborn, even if we aren't there to witness it. So, that's what we're doing here. We're a band of Her Majesty's engineers, and we're out here to keep these lovely buildings here, all 4 of them, nice and warm. Nice toasty warm so that all the sprouts don't die or something. Factory plans. We've reached the generator site, and the seedlings are safely stored in the seedling arks. We were supposed to deploy automatons to make sure the city can run itself no matter the weather, but the transport carrying the factory plans was lost in a blizzard. We need to build a beacon and send a team to search for it. Okay, so here's the game. I'm going to pause it right away. This is going to give us a warning about the seedlings, if I can just... It's in an awkward spot right there. Preserve the seedlings. You must ensure the seedling arks don't freeze. All the seedlings and many other tropical seeds are very sensitive to the cold. If the temperature in any seedling arks fall below chilly for too long, its precious contents will be irreversibly damaged. I see. I do see. We'll do what we can. So, the center of the game is this a big old boy right here. The generator. So, the generator is a big old coal-powered thing, as you can see. It's very icy cold everywhere. We're living in a crevasse right now, a big old hole in the ground, which looks like it's been built deliberately, like, in some way, because you can see here there's a little edge here held up by cables that seems to be holding back the ice. Either way, this is how we keep ourselves warm. You'll see when I switch it on, right? Well, once I unpause anyway. Oh, we don't have any coal. Ah, okay, sorry. I've been playing the refugee start recently, and you start with a bunch of coal on that one, right? So we'll see in a second. So this will produce steam, and it will heat areas all around itself. You can see everywhere's pretty chilly, but it's only negative 20 degrees, so, all you northerners all over in Canada and Sweden, you all know. Minus 20 degrees, not that cold. It's pretty chilly. Like, I don't remember the last time it was that cold here, but it's me living in the UK, of course. But it's pretty chilly, right? It's pretty chilly as far as most of the world would know. But it's not world ending. You gotta remember this is a Victorian setting as well, so if you look, they're all wearing like rags, basically, yeah. Anyway, we'll switch that on, it'll heat the area around it, melting back the snow, and everything built in that area will be warm. And how warm depends on how upgraded our generator is. Right now it's pretty terrible, but we'll improve it over time, alright, with research. Because we win through science in this game. At least the way I like to play, anyways. There's a lot of ways you can win this game, but yeah, that's my sort of idea. So right now we have 46 people down here. Well, we have 45 people. That the top icon there under unemployed means engineers. We have no workers, and we have an automaton, which is this big boy right here, the robots. Oh, he's so cool. This one's called the King's Scotsman. Oh, I like him. I like that name. It's cool. I really like the automaton design on this, because they've been built in such a way where they have to be large, but they also have to be able to navigate these tiny little pathways, which, you know, hopefully without stepping on anyone, but generally speaking, yeah, it's a very narrow little wooden pathway right there, and you can see they go all through buildings and stuff. They have to be able to navigate those without walking into anything or stepping on anyone. It's really cool the way they're animated. You'll see that in just a second. So, we have one automaton and 45 engineers to deploy. How do we want to deploy them? You can see here, these are our initial supplies. We got wooden crates and steel wreckage. We got coal piles that we're going to need to harvest as soon as possible. So what we're going to do is, you can just click one of these and assign people to work them, and they'll collect them and bring them back, well, during work hours anyway. But the more efficient way to do this is, if we go to resources, we can build a gathering post, and you can see they'll harvest all of these at once, and it'll only take 10. So with 10 people, you can harvest 3 as opposed to 15 harvesting 1. I'm pretty sure the 15 would harvest it quicker. But you have to remember then, though, that they're working from inside a building, and a building is much warmer than trudging through the snow. So if we put them inside the building right here, right, that'll harvest all 3 of these, and that'll give us plenty of wood and some coal, right? So we'll connect this up with a road. Roads are not just roads in this game. Pipes from the steam generator run underneath all the roads. You can see, if you look closely, you can see there's a little pipe going through the middle. That is why all your buildings need to be connected to the roads. Not necessarily to get people to them, because a lot of them don't even need people, but those pipes will pipe steam to each building, keeping it nice and toasty warm. So we'll build that there. That'll harvest wood. We're going to need others elsewhere, but yeah, we'll deal with that when we get to it. So I think, actually, I'm going to build another one over here, maybe, because the steel's not quite as... yeah, we'll put it there, why not? The steel's not quite as important yet. It will be. But we don't have enough supplies. You can see up here all our resources. We don't have enough supplies to build enough building posts for everyone. So we'll get started. In fact, we'll send the automaton over here to harvest that, because that's far enough away from the rest of them. We don't really want to build a gathering post just for one coal pile, right? So we'll have the automaton do it because he's not vulnerable to the cold. And then the ones that we can harvest, which is all 3 of these at the same time, and put a gathering post there, our people will work in and keep them nice and toasty warm. These are the things you've got to consider. So while we have an automaton, we'll want to make use of him. So if we fast forward, people should start assembling these buildings real quick. There he goes. There they go. I love the way, by the way, that as they walk through the snow, they'll clear it. Like, it's really neat. Like you can see right there where our automaton has been walking, the big divots in the snow. He's currently assembling this because he started doing that before we assigned him to the coal pile. So he'll finish that off, and there it is. So now we can assign our people here and here, and they should start harvesting things, and so they have. So now we should be able to switch on our generator, and if we zoom in nice and close, it'll melt back the snow in an area around it, and that area is now warm. So first thing first, we need to get buildings set up for our people to sleep in. We only have 45 on this one, whereas normally you can have up to hundreds, but on this one we only have 45 people to keep warm. So 5 batches of tents should do the trick for now, although tents not exactly the warmest sort of thing you'd want to live in the frozen waste. I will pause a lot because time does matter quite a lot in this game. We're going to need a workshop to improve our tech. Yeah, we'll build one right there, and that should be a good start for us. So we didn't bring any food with us. Well, we did bring food, but not any cooked food. So we'll build a cookhouse next, and they'll start processing the... Wait, no, we won't, actually. It looks like we're not going to do that. We're going to wait until tomorrow, because everyone's off work now, it being midnight and all. And that's how this game goes, right? Things only get done during the day. And so, to combat the various problems we have, we can pass laws. We're going to go into the adaptation tree for now. And we're going to pass the emergency shift law. So what that means is, as it says here, sometimes you have to concentrate on the task at hand at the cost of everything else, or die. And so that is true. And what that'll do, that'll upset people. You can see we have discontent and hope down here. Discontent means how angry they are about present situation, or with you specifically. Hope means they are, well, how much hope they have as to whether everyone's going to die or not. So we're going to put people in that right there, and we've signed that, not because we need to use it just now. We don't know. I don't find we don't actually often have to use that law of energy shift, because it generates, when you use it, a lot of discontent. People get very upset, understandably. And it can quite literally cause people to work to death. So we want to avoid that if at all possible, especially on this game mode, because we don't really have a source of more people. So now that we've got our workshop done, we can start assigning new tech. You can see here we want to build this beacon first. I'll show you that in just a second. We just need 10 wood to be able to reset that. There it is. We'll go ahead, tech tree, beacon. Let's go ahead and start working on that. Now the beacon is a big old balloon we can send up, which will sort of, it has a light attached to it, and I assume it aids communications. Basically, it gives your scouts, when you send people out, it gives them a way to find their way back. Until you build one of those, you can't send them out because they'll, die on the way back, right? So, where do we want to put our cookhouse? Right there, I guess. Yeah, we'll put it right there. We don't need any more tents than this. 5 will cover us for just about the whole game. So we'll build our cookhouse, and we'll assign people to work it. There we are. So they'll start processing our food. 1 raw food by default provides 4 meals, which is nice. That's the way you want things to be. If you can pass laws to change that, but people will understandably be upset if you start making soup instead of proper meals, or if you start adding sawdust to bulk them out. These are the sort of decisions you can make. The harsh realities of living in the frozen wasteland, I guess. So now we've got the beacon, which is the first thing we need. Now there's a few routes you can go on tech. You got food mill, shelter. That's things like greenhouses. They're called hothouses, yeah. Upgraded houses for keeping people warm. You got coal thumpers and things, and sawmills, all that good stuff. Right now we got plenty of coal to last us quite some time just lying around, so we're going to go for sawmills, because the faster we get more wood, the faster we can, progress. Now that we've got that, by the way, the next thing we'll want to do is build us a beacon. For that we're going to need 35 steel. I didn't actually start harvesting any, because at the time we needed to keep our resources, but now we can go ahead and assign some people. In fact, if you put it right there, he'll help with all 3 of those, and that looks just dandy to me. So let's go ahead and pop that on there. In fact, just for the sake of making a nice straight line, I'll start it from there. Bop. Job done. So I'll fast forward to get that done as well. We're almost ready to pass a new law, and that will be the extended shift law. Sorry guys, but you're all going to have to work 14-hour shifts. It sucks, I agree. But we're all going to die if you don't, so. The main building I want to work 14-hour shifts is the workshop, but we're probably going to have everyone do it for now. We can drop it later on, but for now I'm going to enable everyone working from 6 until 8. Yikes. That is no fun, but we do need those extra hours to get things done, especially in the early game. So we don't need this cookhouse. Do we have enough wood? We do. How about steel? No, we're just waiting for steel right now. We really do need to get our outpost done ASAP. So if we're just fast about this. Come on. We assigned people to this, didn't we? Yes. So since we have spare people, what I'm going to do now is build us a medical outpost early. Nice and early. If we build one right there, well, that'll give us space to assign people to work as doctors. Only engineers can work in the medical post. Not that that's really relevant to us now, but in the main game there are about 2 classes of people. You got engineers, which are meant to be like the upper class, educated workers, and then regular workers, which are the, shovel and pickaxe type workers. Remember, this is Victorian England. Well, we're not actually in Victorian England, but this is the sort of setting we're dealing with, so things like child labour and fighting pits. They're all things you can build in this, you can use in this game, and they were things that were very common in Victorian times. So don't judge the game too harshly on that front. Right, we're down to 300 coal right there. Do we have any more up here? No. Is there any more? Yeah, I thought we had some more somewhere. So we'll send our automaton to go work on that pile now. So, new tech, ready to go. We're probably going to go with, yeah, we'll probably go for heaters. Now, heaters are your basic coal burning, heater. So we'll need those because we can, essentially it lets you heat one specific building instead of upgrading a generator which heats everything. No, we will upgrade our generator, but for now We just need that ASAP. So we should be able to now build the beacon. No, we need 35 steel, so we'll go ahead and give it another hour or two. And there's our beacon. Now the beacon doesn't need to be actively reached by anyone, so we'll just go ahead and just tuck it out here maybe. Perhaps over there. No, we'll build it out here. There's no need to keep it anywhere particularly close by. That'll destroy a couple of trees, but realistically we'll never clear all these trees anyway, so it'll be fine. Now, new law. What do we need? I think we're going to go with the sustain life law. So how about we go through all the law branches available to us right now. So we've gone down the emergency shift and extended shift trees, right? Now we know what they do. So we got the fighting arena, and what that does is let people beat the snot out of each other to relieve tension, I imagine. And that pleases everyone close enough to the fighting pit to watch the fights. You can set that up near your houses, and they'll all go out after hours and watch each other beat each other bloody. Victorian England, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, so that's a thing that you can build. Very valuable. Very valuable. And then that gives you access to the pub and dueling laws, which do other things respectively, like public house will lower discontent because everyone can go for a drink after hours and stuff. Now use your food law. You can pick between soup, which means you get 5 meals instead of 4 for the same amount of food, but people lose hope because, things are obviously bad, we're all just drinking water basically. And that'll upset people. Or you can go to food additives, add sawdust, which gives you 6 meals for every raw food, but some people fall ill and people are obviously still upset. So it's these are things that are particularly relevant when you don't know exactly what you're doing. Like here, I'm following basically the same theme that I followed before. I know roughly what I'm doing, and I know what's coming, and I know what I need to prepare for. So it's not going to be that much of an issue, unless I'm severely overstating my ability to play this game, in which case, fair enough. But yeah, then you have the medical laws right here. So you can choose. People will become gravely ill in this game. Frostbite, very common, right? And you have to choose between sustaining life, which means we keep them alive in medical posts, because medical posts are the bare minimum. They can't cure frostbite. They can't cure gravely ill people. Gravely ill people will die if you don't do something. So this one means they will keep them alive in posts, but will not treat them. Because medical outposts are primitive. There's no serious surgical tools or anything like that. So they'll be kept alive. They will remain a burn, as it says down here. We'll have to feed them, and they'll take up a valuable bed in an outpost. Or we can go for radical treatment, which means we treat them with whatever we can, and that'll mean we can treat gravely ill people. However, 30% of the gravely ill people treated in medical posts will become an amputee, which means they cannot work because they've lost a hand or an arm or a leg. They can't work until, until we sign another law later on and fix them up in a prosthetic, basically. I think in this particular one, we only have 45 people. We're never going to get anyone else. Right, that's it. That's all we're going to have. So we're going to need to keep them alive at all costs, right? We're going to go with sustain life, because we can't afford to take that risk that we lose someone. We just don't have the people to spare right now. So we'll go for sustain life. All things considered, hopefully we won't be having people dying anyway. So a man can hope, right? Let's go ahead and just fast forward. There's not much for us to do right now anyways. So we're just gathering resources. Next, we probably want to actually build a sawmill to start processing wood ASAP. We'll probably build it over here somewhere. Like right there is a good spot. That covers a lot of trees. I know it's kind of an awkward spot, but this is a temporary building anyway. Once it's cleared out all the trees, we'll be done with it. And then we'll want to go on to steelworks, because that's something we're going to need to get up and running ASAP as well, because we can run off of these coal piles for a little while before we need anything else. So, off we go. Is our outpost done? Not yet. Our beacon, sorry. Not quite. We will wait. Now, we'll reassign the people from the cookhouse, because we have no raw food to cook, so they're just sat there twiddling their thumbs. So we'll go ahead and throw 5 people in there until we get more food later on. 100 meals, keep us going with only 45 people, keep us going for a while. We're no longer lost and blind. We can now survey the Frostland, and that'll take us out to the overworld. You can see it's icy. It's very icy. And up there in the distance over there, you can see the storm approaching. And the storm, it's chilly. It's real chilly. I think in the main campaign, Yes? Storm on the horizon. Oh, well, how convenient. We can clearly see the storm approaching from the south. It's still some distance away, but we've got to keep an eye on it, make sure we set up the infrastructure needed to heat the Arks before it hits. You are correct, sir. We will do our best. So, we need 5 people. We're going to go ahead and take the 5 people from this sawmill. We don't need it until these gathering posts are empty, at which point we'll have more labour anyway. So, we'll go ahead and use 40 wood and 5 people to set up a scouting party. Now, the scouting party are basically wrapped up in the warmest clothes we can muster, and we'll send them out into the frozen wastes to search places and uncover resources, and in this case we'll send them to find our factory plans that we abandoned on the road here. So there we go. It's now 5 AM and we should be able to get to work pretty soon. And there everyone goes. Alright, cool. Now, as you see, things are freezing up. Temperature is dropping. You can see up here when it's going to drop. We're going to get another drop in a day or two. And now we're at 30 degrees, so if we click this, we can see ceiling arcs are chilly. That's as cold as we can let them get. We can't let them go below chilly, right? And in fact, let me check our economy real fast. Yeah, we got plenty of coal to spare at the minute. So we're going to go ahead. We're not going to heat the seedling arcs, because as long as they're chilly or above, they're fine. We're going to heat these gathering posts, because what that means is the people working inside will be less liable to get sick. So how's our economy now? Yeah, that hasn't impacted us that much. So you can see in the top right there, that's our timer for how long until our scouts arrive to their destination. So now that we've done the sustain life law, we're going to go for the care house law next. We're not going to go down cemetery routes unless we really have to, because this is a situation where ideally no one will die. So we're going to do our best to stop people from dying, because we can do that with so few people. It's fairly easy to keep people alive, relatively speaking. Obviously, I don't want to jinx myself with that. So we're going to go ahead and build ourselves a care house right there, just in the event people do get ill. There we are, and it also gets them out of the medical posts, right? So that was an issue we were having earlier. It was that if anyone got gravely ill, they'd have to take up a bed in the medical post. I mean, that's no longer the case, so fantastic. Oh, now we'll research the coal thumper. We'll also build ourselves, we can't man it yet, but we'll build ourselves a steelworks. Where's the steelworks spot? There it is. We'll build both of them, and that should do us just fine. There we are. Well, no, again, we can't man them, but we'll assemble them anyway, just so they're ready. So we're just waiting for our scouts to arrive in just an hour. And there they go. Right, cool. The abandoned supplies. Our supplies are covered in snow and ice. They seem undamaged, but we'll have to dig them out to be sure. And so we did. Recovered treasure. We spent hours hacking at the ice to free our supplies, but we did it. We were forced to abandon them once again. Doing it again would be unforgivable, and so we will take it. And we gain 1 steam core and 29 steel. Not that much, but the steam core is the valuable part. And we'll adventure onwards to the broken automaton. Alrighty. Fantastic. You can see here we're filling up our coal supply quite nicely. The sealing arcs might freeze. Captain, in a few days the temperature will drop. Our sealing arcs will be in danger. We have to keep them warm with heaters or steam hubs. You are right, sir. We have heated technology ready to go. And we'll deploy that the moment we need to. For now, there's no point, because we need to conserve that coal. I think we're probably not going to bother with this just yet, because, well, it's not really going to be relevant for a little while. I know, it's a useful first tech, but on this one you really do need to rush that outpost, so we're going to go ahead and advance to the next stage of technology. Drawing boards, 50 wood. There we go. Alright, so this gathering post, they just finished it off their work. They've gathered all these piles, so it no longer serves any function. We'd just as well get rid of it. So we'll tear that down, and everyone could go work in the sawmill instead. There we are. We're down to 90 rations, that's about 2 days. If I just double check my quick mental maths. Food ration gain per day 0, we're consuming 40. So yes, that's just above 2 days. And our care house has been constructed. Not that there's anyone to go in it just yet, but in the event that there is, we won't have to worry. So it's all about preparation in this game. You cannot be idle for too long. You need to be doing things. I didn't need that care house, but I built it anyway, just because I might need it at some point. And what that care house does is it gives palliative care to people that can't, that you don't want to take up space in. Oh, hang on. Malfunction repaired. This automaton was left where it broke down. Thankfully, we managed to dig it out and fix it. We can now send this back, or fixed, fully operational automaton back to the city. And so we shall. And you'll see now, he's on his way. He'll take a day and 11 hours to get back. We have a mountainside cave and our lost dreadnought. It's the main vehicle for our expedition, and we will march onward because we really need to get those factory plans as soon as possible. Right, so let's keep going. Pretty soon this one here, this gathering post momentarily will be empty. And once it is, we'll probably use the labour from it. Yep, let's tear that down. We'll use the labourers from that place in the steelworks instead. There we go. And our new tech has been completed. So, now, where exactly do we want to go with this? We can advance our food, health, and shelter, which is probably a good idea. We're going to need hothouses. We're going to need bunkhouses actually sooner, so we'll go bunkhouses. Then we'll build hothouses next, and that'll be our main source of food for the majority of this game. Wood crates depleted, and that's all of our deposits apart from the coal, I believe. Our automaton emptied his pile as well, so we'll go ahead and tear down this. And we'll now begin the process of establishing a coal thumper. I don't believe there's anything in the way here, is there? I don't think so. So we'll do that, and there we are. Right, okay, so now we'll build our coal thumper. Now what the coal thumper does is it pumps water underground to wash coal to an underground coal deposit, and it'll wash it up to the surface for us to harvest, just like any other deposit. Right, so here. Our expedition's main vehicle left hopefully wedged in a crevasse. Exploring it will be difficult, but we have to find the factory plans that are on board. We've rappelled down into the crevasse, listening to the ominous sounds of the ice cracking under the weight of the steel behemoth. After an hour or so of searching, we find the documents safe and retrieve the factory plans. We must get them to the city as fast as possible. The weather is getting worse by the minute, and we need automatons to secure the city and the sealing arcs before the storm hits. Lo we shall. So now we're just going to send them straight back. They come back a lot faster than they go out. Like, that took us several days to get there, but they're going to return in about 20 hours because, as the game says, every mouse up here, the expedition travels faster following a known route to a surveyed location. And, well, that's largely because, well, they know the way home. They can see the beacon in the distance, and the promise of a warm bed does wonders. So, we can now set up the automated infrastructure to keep the sealing arcs at a safe temperature. When we get our factory plans back anyway, we can do that. We've got 10 people to spare right now, which we will probably put to work in a workshop. Let's build another workshop because we're going to need it momentarily. The thing is, workshops can't, well, until we get the technology anyway, can't be worked by automatons, whereas the steelworks can. So once we get another automaton, we'll be able to, like, we'll have more men, basically, for every automaton we get. We'll put people to work in the coal thumper for now. Now, the coal thumper doesn't generate coal on its own, it brings it up into piles, and that's what those people will be doing. To harvest them, we're going to need gathering posts, or we're going to need to manually assign labourers, but we talked about before gathering posts being more efficient, and they stop people freezing. So, Book of Laws. The next law is the prosthetics law. In the event anyone loses a limb, we want to be able to replace them. So, there we go. Simply put, we'll be able to build mechanical arms and things to replace the ones that people have lost. So, we're going to need more people. We're going to take 5 off there and put them into the workshop. Now, these don't mean we can research 2 at once. We can still only research 1 tech at once, but this one will boost the efficiency of the first. So, I think rather than it being 200% research, we'll do this one will give us 100, and then this one will boost it to 130. We'll have him work extra hours as well. Sorry guys, I know it's no fun, but needs must. Ceilings are in danger. There we go. The temperature dropped, and now the ceilings are chilly. So we'll go ahead, and we will enable heaters in all of these. How's the temperature doing? Let's have a look. Everywhere is chilly right now. Everywhere. Well, mustn't forget that one over there as well. There we are. What we need is that other automaton. And we need bunkhouse tech. We need a lot of things right now. We got a couple of sick people, but nothing major. There's our bunkhouses. So we'll go ahead and upgrade our tents to not a proper house, but it's a bunkhouse. You know, it's got wooden walls as opposed to canvas. And we will begin our next tech. We may want to go for a medical post upgrade. Or, well, there's a few ways we can go, really. Perhaps a coal mine would be a more practical solution for now. Coal mines can only be built in specific spots, namely over here. And they don't generate as much coal as, say, a thumper would. And they take steam cores. But it's just one workplace, whereas this requires 3 workplaces or 30 people to be fully efficient. That would require 10 or a single automaton. Our people are nearly back. Oh, we've got another event. Long hours of toil. So our people are worn out. Some of them have been working extended shifts for days on end. The effort is taking its toll. They're becoming restless. They deserve a break. We can either tell them to sod off, which will upset them a little, or we can give them 3 days on regular shifts. I want to address that right now. They're going to be upset, but we need people to keep working for now. We can't afford to be taking much time off at the minute. And there our people are back. They brought with them 100 wood, 50 coal, 4 steam cores, 129 steel, and the plans for a factory. So we're going to immediately put that into practice. We're going to immediately assemble that factory. Right here. There we go. Steam cores. This is a warning about that. So we just used our first steam core. They're a necessary component of advanced technology. We can't manufacture them in the city, so let's hope our scouts find them during expeditions. Exactly. Exactly. So we'll deal with that for now. So it's about to heat up a little again, which is good because everyone's homeless at the minute. Oh, and here it is. Our new automaton has reached the city, and we shall immediately put him to work in the steelworks. There you go, which means now, coincidentally, we can switch the heater off over there. Another advantage of automatons is they do work all day, all night. They only take very, very short breaks to refuel. So, next tech. We probably want to go with, say... Well, it's pretty open for us right now. I think hothouses are probably the way to go. So we'll do that. We are going to need to increase our resource production as soon as. So, yeah, 3 people being treated. Largely, no one's remaining sick for too long. Oh, there's 5. Oh, and now we can send out our scouts again to these industrial ruins, perhaps. So, off they go. There. Now we are going to need to build that coal mine ASAP. Build it we shall. There. I'm not going to build 2 because they take steam cores. Steelworks obviously don't take steam cores. I'll carve a path through the snow. Look at that. It's quite the steep path. It's quite neat. I love the sort of procedural destruction of the snow. It's very neat. There. So this guy will work that. As soon as that coal pile is empty, we'll put him to work over there. So for now, we'll want to assign 5 people to that. And we'll have 5... we don't really need people working in there, to be honest. I'd rather we keep them in someplace warm. Right, let's go ahead and build another workshop then, because we can fit one in there quite nicely, and we need somewhere to put people to work. We'll have plenty of places to put people to work soon. Let's research that medical post upgrade so people get healed a little faster. So now we need to start making more automatons, so we'll start building one right now. We'll put those to extra hours. And fundamental research. An engineer is asking for a day off to study an automaton closely. The automatons can be improved. They may be the pinnacle of our technology, but if we learned how to make them, we can surely learn how to make them better. If I took a closer look at any machine, I can adjust it to improve its performance. Why should it be any different with them? So we'll lose an engineer for a day, but he might be able to improve the automatons, so we'll go ahead and we'll let him try. Currently, our coal production is at a negative. This one guy is not enough to provide all the coal we need, but we'll let him go on with it for now. I'm also going to put this into overdrive. We'll put a heater on there and we'll send 10 people to go work there. How are we doing? Everywhere's reasonably warm at the minute. Reasonably warm. But some workplaces are chilly. Yellow means livable. There's a very low chance they might get sick. We are about to get another automaton, by the way, so I'll go ahead and is the factory cold? No, we'll crank it up anyway, just because we're about to get a big boost to our coal production, so it shouldn't be an issue. There we go. Now we can assign 5 more people to work there. Where do we want them to come from? Yeah, we'll take 5 people off this steelworks. We don't really need 2 full steelworks at the minute, and we'll put them on there so we get tech done faster the sooner we get all our technology taken care of. You notice that says 4 out of 5. That's because one of the people that was working there fell ill and is currently in care. We have, in fact, have not enough beds to heal everyone at the minute. But our new automaton is finished. We'll assign him to the coal mine. It's chilly, but it doesn't really matter because robots care not for the cold. We're now in the positives again for coal. New tech. Our resources, you probably want to... Well, we're going to need all these eventually. But I'm thinking more scouts might be the way to go for now, so that we can uncover more areas faster, bring back more resources. As a matter of fact, I've just realized people are going to be pretty hungry soon, so we're going to go ahead and build ourselves a hothouse, which is a fancy little name for a greenhouse. There, we'll put that there. It's pretty chilly at the minute, we're not going to be able to make much use of it. I think it's probably time we signed the cemetery law, just in case someone dies. So we'll sign that, and we'll assemble a cemetery somewhere out of the way. Naturally, the dead require no heating, so we don't generally need to keep them anywhere near the generator. So we'll probably tuck it over here behind this ark. I put that slightly out of the way, my bad. There, put that right there, and that'll be that. So we have a spare automaton, it seems. Where did you come from? Are you the new guy? Yeah. Oh, I see. He just finished his call. So we'll put the automaton on the hothouse. Once it drops too far, the hothouse won't be able to work even with an automaton. But for now, we should be fine. So how are we doing on coal? We're losing a little bit because the coal mine on its own doesn't actually produce that much coal. But for now, we should be okay. So right here, the industrial ruins, the building was destroyed by a powerful avalanche. Its interiors are filled with snow, but we should still be able to retrieve some resources. And retrieve them we shall. Buried alive. We discovered a bounty of resources as we dig through the snow. Sadly, that's not all we find. An avalanche killed everyone who worked here. Their corpses have been frozen solid. Their relatively light clothes and the insignia of Her Majesty's Prospector Corps suggests they were explorers sent north to look for suitable places for generators during the onset of the Great Winter. Maybe it's for the best that they weren't there to witness the fall of the Empire. Yes, it's not a wonderful world. That's reasonably light, you know, as far as things go. That's not that dark for this game. So I'm gonna go ahead, and we need to save up some resources actually for another automaton. We got one built. Matter of fact, I'm going to spend one of our remaining 2 steam cores on another coal mine. We'll hook that up there, and we'll build a pathway around. How's the sawmill doing? I think the temperature's dropped to 30 still. This hasn't gone any lower just yet. The sawmill is working. Not for long, mind. There isn't many trees left. Right. Now, we have another automaton. So as soon as this coal mine is built, we'll put him to work in there. Oh. The search for steam cores. Captain, we've run out of steam cores. We know there are some industrial ruins to the north and south. Might find more there. So that will unlock more areas for us to explore. As a matter of fact, we're going to send these guys, redirect them there, and we'll have them explore the south there. Well, I think technically that's the north, but from our orientation it's the south. And we'll have people carry on researching. We're going to need the generator range upgrade, I think. So we'll get on that right now. New thing. So, test subject is needed. The engineer working on the automaton project is back. He wants to borrow an automaton. He's close to a breakthrough. He just needs an automaton for 1 day, and he believes he'll be able to propose specific modifications that will raise their performance permanently. We'll do it. We really can't afford to be losing an automaton for now, but we will do it. And we'll put one of our no longer sick people, back to work. So, we really do need to get people cooking again. We are generating food now, as you can see. Sign a new law. We'll sign the ceremonial funerals law just because there's no reason not to. It doesn't actually do anything until someone dies, I guess. But what that means is at 9 o'clock, when someone dies, we'll hold a big old ceremonial funeral for them. Which is nice. It's good not to forget the value of human life in a situation like this. Well, in general, I guess, but in a situation like this, more so. Right, we're going to need a new sawmill because this one's busted. Well, by busted, I mean it's not got any trees left, which is an issue for a sawmill, as one can imagine. Probably just nudge them up further here, build it right there. That should cover it for quite some time. So, new tech. We can't really afford to go to the next tier, but we can go for generator power increase Mark 1, which we will do, in fact. I'll go ahead and rotate the camera a little, because I'm more used to this orientation now. We've got an automaton, we've got 10 people spare right now. There we go. We'll put 5 people to work in there then. And 5 in there. We need the food more at the minute. So let's, in fact, up the hours on the cookhouse as well. Everyone works extended shifts. And one of our people have reached the Misty Valley. The air here is still. The trail ahead disappears in a milky haze. Even in the middle of the day, it feels like twilight. A narrow path we were investigating led onto a large flat landscape. The snowy plains we have discovered seem promising. We've already observed a dozen places worth exploring. We will discover the windswept snowfield. Not exactly a dozen, mind you, but it's a place. So we'll have him carry on. Now, we need 5 people back. We can't really afford to spare 5 people at the minute. Where have we got humans working? In here? Let's take you. And we'll assign another automaton as soon as we save up 100 wood, which will take some time because I'm going to actually need the wood. Oh no, we took our automaton. We can't send him to work there. We need someone to work on coal though. We have time actually. We have time to get our automaton back before we start reassigning people. So what have I got now? 5. Yeah, okay. In fact, I'll temporarily put 5 people there so they harvest coal faster. Because we're saving up 40 wood for a new scout group. There we are, right. There we are, we unlock the tech to be able to deploy another one, so we'll send them to the mountainside cave. And this way we'll explore more than one place at a time. So, that's an issue. As you can see, it's pretty chilly. We've increased the range of our generator, but it's just not enough. So what we're going to do... Actually, we can turn on the heater in there. Is that okay? Yeah. Everywhere's pretty chilly though. That's cold, but not frozen. We've got an automaton working in there, don't we? Yeah, so it shouldn't be an issue for now. Generator power has just been increased anyway, so that's good. What do we want to work on next? We should probably start working on steam hubs just in case. Maybe? Nah. We'll wait a while. We'll go in on sawmill upgrades instead. We just need to save up 10 wood for now. Why are you idling? Oh, he's the one that's idle while we improve him. Oh. The engineer working on the automaton project sent his report. He broke the automaton he borrowed. Now he wants a steam core. The damage hasn't been for nothing. We can fix the broken machine. On top of that, we can now adjust the automatons to make them work faster. The engineer's busy again, but he says he's onto something really exciting. So, no matter what we do here, the efficiency of the automatons will rise by 5%. But if we spend a steam core, we might gain something else as well. And, spoiler, I know what it is. It gives us the ability to have automatons work in medical facilities. Which I'm not that into. We don't really have that many steam cores now. We won't bother. We're gonna keep that steam core. There we go. Now we've got our automaton back. He can go work in the other coal mine. And we're still not in the positive because every time you upgrade the generator, it doubles the coal consumption. We're now consuming 24 coal an hour. Which is a lot. But then you have to consider then, however, that, where is it? Where's that building here? That right there. That like each heater consumes 1 coal an hour, you know, so that's why heaters are good. Go ahead and speed through while we wait for stuff. We're gonna need food again, but people have plenty to eat now. We have food rations. out the wazoo, and we should be good for the foreseeable future with that hothouse. So, I think today we'll leave it there. Today I've let this get away with me a little bit. I mean, it's a very long episode, so thank you all very much for watching. As always, I really hope you enjoyed this game, because I certainly do. I absolutely love it. And I hope to see you next time.